Have you seen the Fuji rumor regarding the new 16 to 55 2.8 that apparently is coming out tomorrow, the 14th of October, 2024? Are you excited? Are you not excited? Do you currently have a version of this? I do, and it hands down is my favorite lens. I take this lens absolutely everywhere I go. I do a lot of street photography, and this lens is always with me. The quality is just excellent. It's water resistant. The flexibility for me just can't be beat. And I'm super tempted on this new lens. I don't know if you've seen the post from Fuji Rumors, but they're saying that the new lens will be 410 grams compared to 655 of the current lens. And that has been my biggest hurdle with this particular lens is the fact that it is a chunky lens. One of the reasons I really love Fuji is that it has smaller body sizes, a smaller footprint. Also, it's a lot easier to just carry because the weight is a lot lighter than like a full frame system. And so, the tough thing though is going through that whole hassle of selling your current copy and then getting the new copy. You're going to, of course, take a loss on that financially. And that's always frustrating. And so I'm really debating, is it worth that little bit of sizing difference to go ahead and get this new lens? One other notable thing to mention about this new lens that they're coming out with, besides the sizing, which is the big thing I'm looking at, is they're coming out with a clickless aperture ring where you can switch it to being clickless, and that will apparently allow for smooth brightness transitions when adjusting the aperture. So that'll definitely be huge for video. I don't use my 16-55 a lot for video. Not to say that that won't be something in the future, but it is nice that they're bringing out features like that for the lenses and making them as versatile as possible, especially with the price points that they're selling at. Yeah, I'm torn though. And another thing too that has been a bit frustrating with Fuji, not a bit frustrating, it's always that elephant in the room, is the autofocus. I was recently in London, and a friend of mine and I did a photo shoot. We were doing, one of the locations we were shooting at was in the Tube, and we were under a bit of pressure because we barely were allowed to go in and take photos by security. We were kind of constantly thinking they were going to kick us out, and my autofocus was just not sticking to her. It was so beyond frustrated that it completely took me out of being creative and the actual experience of the shoot. And that shouldn't be a thing with your camera. When I bought the X-T3 so long ago, I fell in love with the camera, but I knew that the autofocus was an issue. And I just kept on thinking, well, Sony and Canon, they've really stepped up the game. You give Fuji a year or two, and sure enough, they're going to be there. And when I got the X-T5, I felt like they really had made some great improvements. But as you've seen recently, everyone is so beyond frustrated to the point of where they're doing things to get older versions of the firmware onto their camera, and having to go through the frustration of that. We just shouldn't be here at this point. Fuji autofocus should not still be the topic of conversation and frustration when it comes to this camera, especially when it comes to the price point. I mean, for what they're charging for these cameras, you shouldn't have to have the autofocus be in your way. It shouldn't be a thing that is constantly on your mind, like, is it going to screw me in this shoot? Can I count on it? Is it going to do its job? I'm really hoping that tomorrow on the 14th, when they announce that apparently this new lens, and as well, they're supposed to be announcing, updated firmware that is going to fix the cameras. I'm hoping that they've done it. Switching to Sony has definitely been on my mind, and not investing any further funds into Fuji. So I think that's another thing that's been weighing on me with this particular new lens announcement is, do you sink more money into Fuji? But again, I'm really curious what your thoughts are. If you're a Fuji shooter, if you're a street photographer, what are you thinking? And is this lens something that you're getting? Have you already switched to Sony or Canon or Nikon? and or another brand. Let me know your thoughts below. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.